Hello, good morning viewers. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to convert pure surd to mixed surd. Remember in our previous lesson, I told you a pure surd is that surd that contains one rational number, while a mixed surd is that contains two rational numbers. This is how they are in general. Pure surd. Example, square root of a, where a is a rational number and a positive rational number. Mixed surd, something like a square root of b, where a and b are both rational number, but a could either be positive or negative, but b must be positive. So how can we convert this into this form? To convert this into this form, you have to think of two numbers that can be multiplied together to get a, but under a condition. One of the numbers must be a perfect square number, and while choosing that perfect square number, make sure you take the greatest, because we may get a number that has more than one perfect square number as its factor. So you take the greatest one. Example, suppose we have square root of 12. You know this is a pure surd. How can we convert it into this form? You know some of the factors of 12 that are perfect square numbers. We have 1. 1 is a perfect square number. And we have 4. And that's all. We have to take the greatest. So, you know, square root of 12 can be written as square root of 4 multiplied by 3, because 4 times 3 is 12. You know, from the rule, we can separate them as square root of 4 multiplied by square root of 3. Separately, we take their square roots. But square root of 4 is 2. Then 2 times root 3 is 2 root 3. This means that square root of 12 is exactly the same as 2 root 3, just that they are in different form. So we can write it here as 2 root 3. So what about if we want to convert this back to its pure surd? It is as simple as taking this 2 inside the radical sign and square it and simplify. 2 root 3, we want to convert it back into its pure surd. This is the same thing as saying this 3 multiplied by this 2 outside, but you have to square it. This is equal to root 3 multiplied by 4, because 2 power 2 is 4. And finally, this is equal to 12. Back to its original form. Let us take another one. Suppose we want to take the square root of 32. You know, this is why I said you have to take the greatest perfect squared factor of that rational number under the square root. 4 can go into 32. It's a perfect square number. As well, 16 can go in there. So we have to take the greatest, which is 16. Because 16 times 2 will give us 32. But 4 times 8 is also 32. So we have to take the greatest. So 32 can be seen as 16 multiplied by 2. This is the same thing as 16 in square root multiplied by 2 in square root. Square root of 16 is 4. Times 2 is 4 root 2. So we can write this as 4 root 2. If you wish to convert this back into its pure surd, just take 4, square it, it will give you 16. 4 times 4 is 16. Then 16 times 2 will always give you back your 32. Let us take the last one. Square root of 27. What are the two numbers you can multiply to get 27? but one of the number must be a perfect square number. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 3 is 27. So we can write it as 9 times 3. And the square root of 9 is equal to 3. But square root of 3 remains square root of 3. So 27 can be seen as 9 times 3. But 9 is a perfect square number which you can take the square root of to obtain 3. But 3 will remain in the square root because it is a non-perfect square number. This is why we call it an irrational number under the square root. So we can write it as 3 root 3. If you wish to convert it into pure surd, take 3, square it, you get 9, multiply by 3, you get 27. Boom. And I think this is all I have for you today. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this to your learning colleagues. Thank you.